All right, everyone, welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page, as we continue to roll on. Moments away from Vice President J.D. Vance, Dr. Oz making remarks. As soon as that happens, we will bring that to you. Next up, though, I want to take you out to Illinois. A lawsuit has been filed against an Illinois high school alleging that 4 of their former students, which are women, are talking about sexual harassment and grooming from an administrator that worked at the high school. Let's listen in right now on Live Now.
When institutions are placed on notice of predatory behavior involving children, they have a legal, but more importantly, a moral obligation to act decisively. And our lawsuit details that they did not in this case. We are seeking accountability, not only for what was done to these 4 young women, but also for the systemic failures of the institution that allowed this abuse to happen for years. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Cass Casper, the lead attorney on this case.
Thank you very much, Larry. Members of the media, thank you for being here today. As Larry just previewed, today we filed a lawsuit in the Circuit Court of Kendall County, Illinois, on behalf of the 4 courageous women who are present and behind us today. Kayla Sundstrom, Annie Fish, Lillian Lake. These 4 brave young women endured years of grooming, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, manipulation by their former Oswego High School teacher and coach, Sean Staffelt, who is named as a co-defendant in this suit alongside Oswego. This case is about holding both Staffelt and Oswego School District 308 accountable for a pattern of predatory conduct that the district knew about but failed to stop that went on for years. The facts, as outlined in our complaint, are disturbing. Staffelt served as a physical education teacher and coach for football, wrestling, and track at Oswego High School for approximately 12 years. During those 12 years, he engaged in systematic grooming of female students, including these plaintiffs, through unwanted physical contact, sexually explicit comments, both in text, email, in person, all over the place, inappropriate email through his district email account, and calculated physical boundary violations designed to isolate and manipulate his young female victims who were also his students. This complaint extensively documents how Staffelt would select certain female students as his favorites. He would shower them with attention, create relationships of dependency and control that left these young women feeling unable to report his abuse and unable to escape it and having to endure it. What makes this case particularly egregious is that District 308 had actual knowledge of Staffelt's predatory behavior dating back years. In 2017, most notably, but not alone, the district issued Staffelt a warning directing him to maintain professionalism and prohibiting him from touching and hugging students. But back prior to that, in around 2015, we know that there was a staff member who filed a report about Staffelt being overly touchy with a female student. That report came from a staff member, folks. The district did nothing. They didn't investigate. They did absolutely nothing with the 2015 staff member report. Not to be deterred, in 2016, another staff member reported that Staffelt was repeatedly slapping her buttocks, yet the district took no meaningful action. Despite all of these red flags and explicit warnings, and by the way, there's more instances of notice that the district had prior to 2015 outlined in the complaint. Despite all these red flags and warnings, the district allowed Staffelt to continue teaching and coaching with unfettered access to female students for years following. Now, it's true that when formal complaints finally came in January 2020, additional complaints, the district's investigation did undertake an investigation at that point, and Staffelt was placed on administrative leave and then ultimately had to resign. However, throughout that investigation, instead of supporting the victims, such as Kayla Sundstrom and Jillian Lake, They pressured Kayla to finish her senior year online, to switch schools, and pulled her out of most of her classes. Well, Kayla was the victim here. And she can't finish her school year, her senior year in this school because of Staffeldt's abuse. Moreover, Jillian Lake was made to go into a room with no supporting measures and to talk about the abuse that Staffeldt exacted on her. After that was over, she was sent back to her class and given no support whatsoever, no counseling, no therapy, not even talks from administrative leaders. The lasting harm to these women is profound. They suffer from anxiety, trauma, heightened difficulty trusting others. Some have moved away from Oswego because they can't stand to go back. To them, going back to Oswego creates associations with the school where they were victims of predation, where they're objectified by this teacher and coach, where they were a male's play toy rather than young women who needed to be inspired and grown. Our objectives in this suit are clear. First, we seek full accountability and compensation for the harm that these women have suffered. Second, we demand systemic and cultural change. We want mandatory training on recognizing grooming behaviors, not just a policy with words on it. We want enforcement of mandatory reporting of grooming behavior. We want genuine support for victims, child victims who come forward and report this. Real protection requires more than public relations statements. It requires enforceable policies that prioritize student safety over institutional reputation. It requires cultural change. We seek that cultural change by sending the message with this lawsuit that this kind of behavior is unacceptable by teachers and school staff in Illinois. Finally, we know there are additional victims of teacher coach Staffeldt. Social media posts from fall of this past year, 2025, revealed dozens of former students describing identical patterns of abuse, such as that the plaintiffs allege happened to them in this case. If you or someone you know experienced inappropriate conduct from Coach Staffeldt or any teacher at District 308, please come forward. If you have documents, communications, photographs, or you witnessed inappropriate conduct by Coach Staffeldt or other teachers, your information may be very important for these plaintiffs seeking justice. We have a special dedicated hotline for abuse victims and witnesses of abuse. It's 312-506-1235. That goes right to my team's phone system, and we return calls promptly. With that, I've said enough. I'm going to turn it over to one of the victims, Jillian Lake, who's going to make a few comments. Jillian?
Hi, my name is Jillian Lake, and I am one of plaintiffs named in the lawsuit that we're moving forward. Out of everything that you may read, speculate, or make assumptions on throughout our stories, the one thing I feel that I need to emphasize is that a large reason we're standing in front of you today is for all of the children who, God forbid, have experienced or are currently experiencing something similar and are watching this or hearing our stories. We hope this makes you feel safe to come forward. We not only want to end the cycle of abuse that occurs within schools, but we also want to fight for school districts to implement and enforce trauma-informed practices that can help to prevent further traumatizing students who come forward. If you are a victim of abuse, even if you don't fully understand what's happening or has happened to you, you try to deny it and push it to the back of your mind, or you convince yourself that you're the crazy one. Maybe it's normal, actually it isn't wrong, which is a feeling I know all too well. I need you to truly hear me when I say that if you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, then it is wrong and it is not normal. And there's absolutely no gray area. We hope that if you're out there and you're watching this, that you not only see, but you feel that you're not alone. And if you choose to come forward, and speak up about your experience, you will have a community of support behind you. We know firsthand how terrifying it can be to speak out, but our voices matter. Your voice matters, and you're not alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. And we're now going to introduce Annie Fish for her statement.
Hi, my name is Anne Marie Fish, and I am one of the plaintiffs named here today. We are here today because the district would not do its job to protect young women from a predator for over a decade. District 308, you were warned, you had opportunities, you chose silence, so we are choosing truth. We are refusing to let it be minimized. We are refusing to let it be forgotten. You protected a reputation. We are protecting students. You avoided accountability. We are demanding it. This is what courage looks like. This is what leadership looks like. And if you won't lead, we will.
Thank you very much, Annie and Jillian and Kayla and Natalie. With that, the suit has been filed this morning, and we're in the process of serving it on the district, which will be done expeditiously, and then the litigation will go from there. I'll update you from time to time as the story develops. With that, I open the floor to any questions. This is Jillian Lake.
All right, everyone, we were just watching from earlier today a lawsuit there against a Oswego high school teacher, suburb of Chicago. They're accused of sexual harassment, hearing from the alleged victims. They're very serious news conference. So what we want to do is take